I think the art of approaching a woman in the street or at the gym or situationally in your daily life is never going to go away. I think this is a skill set that is more and more important as we become more divided with technology, etc. I think it's good also to have a little bit of options just in case, like not necessarily cheating, but showing her that you could cheat in some way.
Why did you decide to build this whole career about seduction? Like, what's the point?
There's only 3 main niches that are very profitable if you want to do a business. Like,
okay.
There's like the health niche, the wealth niche, like teaching money and stuff, and then there's relationships. 3 niches. And yeah, I just choose relationships.
Yeah, guys, today we have our first offline guest that is sitting very close to us. And Limo, we're very happy to see you here.
Yeah, excited to be here too.
Nice to have you here, man.
Thanks.
And I think our audience will really, really like the subject that we're going to discuss today. So, Limo, can you introduce yourself to our audience, like the people who doesn't know about you?
For sure, yeah. So basically I was born in France, and I lived pretty much all my whole life in France and in Tunisia. I've also lived in Canada and many, many countries, but basically I'm mainly French. So in terms of my background, well, I studied mainly business and stuff like that. I have a heavy business background. And I think, seduction and dating and sex and all of that is very much related to also business and how you succeed in life. I think there's a lot of parallels between both. So I quickly figured out that if I'm better at seduction and dating, I could also be better at business. And in terms of persuasion, all of that. So I started being passionate about that from a very early age. Yeah, that's pretty much my intro. And now I'm basically helping men all over the world, whether entrepreneurs, professionals, business people, to skyrocket their dating life. But not only dating, but also each and every single part of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Great. When did you start this dating life?
I'd say it started in high school, because in high school, I had this quick love story. I bet you guys had a love story in high school or something like that.
And mostly heartbreaking.
Yeah, usually heartbreaking and stuff like that. And so that's where I started to be interested in that. I started learning from videos, books, stuff like that. And that's when I started, like 9 years ago now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So once again, why did you decide to build this whole career about seduction? Like, what's the point? Because you want to help men to find a woman, or maybe you had some of your own problems, maybe when you were young to seduce women or to have a relationship, or you just realized that this is like successful business model and many men are interested in it. So how this idea came up?
I mean, there's many aspects of that, but the first thing is it's not my main, it's my career now, but I don't view it as, it's my career, that's it, I'm the dating coach now. No, I'm multifaceted. I can be a DJ, a dating coach, a business guy, a real estate. I can do whatever. But that's one of the subjects that I'm passionate about. And there's only 3 main niches that are very profitable if you want to do a business. There's like the health niche, the wealth niche, like teaching money and stuff. And then there's relationships, 3 niches. And yeah, I just choose relationships. I could have I could choose business, but yeah, I was more competent in seduction than in business, so I chose seduction. But I love all 3, and I think you can make a thriving business in whatever you want, as long as you love it.
Mm-hmm. So is it possible that maybe in the future you will kind of refuse from this seduction path in your life and you will switch to another kind of business model?
Probably, yeah. At some point. At some point. I would still teach it just for the sake of it. If I have kids also in the future, I could also teach them some ideas, especially guys. But definitely I can branch out and do something else. But I would still love to learn about female psychology, seduction. I think it's mastery is a never-ending process. So once you start this journey, I think you quickly realize that it's a lifelong process. There's never a point where, I know enough now. That's it. See what I mean?
Well, let's talk about seduction. Yeah?
All right.
First, how, in your opinion, is easy way to meet women? Maybe you can share some tricks. Pierre told me that you kind of have this gradation that how to meet on the street. Yeah, how to meet inside, like gym, restaurant, whatever, and how to meet women in your kind of group of friends or circle of your friends, and online in dating apps.
And party as well?
Yeah, parties, nightlife, everywhere. One point about that I want to mention is a lot of guys, they only teach cold approach, which is approaching a woman in the street or whatever,
Okay.
and which is a good thing. I think.
Oh my God, it's like a business model. Yeah, definitely.
It is. There's different sub niches in the niche, you know. But basically, yeah. So a lot of guys teach only that, but I think you got to be multifaceted. You got like if you only rely on one source, like just I'm just gonna approach women in the street, and you're not competent, for example, with your online presence, with Instagram, with things like that, well, you're not adapting to the current dating marketplace because it's evolving. Everything is going online, and you can't be this guy who's just going to approach women and just do that.
Okay.
So there's also multiple facets, but let's come back to your question.
Yeah,
Sorry, I was a little bit...
How to meet a woman? For example, in your opinion, where is the best way to meet women and to continue like relationship with her? Is it on the street? Is it on a dating app? Or it's all together and it doesn't really matter what like path you choose?
So that's a great question. Honestly, I think you should find multiple streams of women through multiple there's multiple pathways to getting dates. You know, I think you shouldn't be a one-trick pony. That's why we call a one-trick pony. I'm just going to do one thing. I'm just going to be the guy who's just going to approach women, and I'm going to do just that, nothing else.
Okay.
And from my experience, I think you should cultivate multiple streams. You know, a little bit from Instagram, a little bit from cold approach, a little bit from social circle, a little bit if you go out, you know, and you take some leads here and there. And then you have a funnel, you have a pipeline coming in of new women, new dates, new opportunities. And from that pipeline, those leads, you can just, you know, schedule things with them and see how it goes, you know. So that's how I see it. The best way is to, honestly now, it's Instagram. A lot of it is Instagram, in my experience.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I think I will just say that for me, Instagram is one of the easiest thing. But me, women and the women I know, we appreciate a lot if a man is trying to get to know you or to meet you in real life. Because nowadays, a lot of men, they stop doing this. And I think it's because, yes, we have a lot of media and it's much easier to text than to go to a woman on the street or in the restaurant or whatever and try to talk to her and to be very like creative, not to just ask, okay, how are you doing? So what do you think about that?
No, definitely. I think the art of approaching a woman in the street or at the gym or situationally in your daily life is never going to go away. I think this is a skill set that is more and more important as we become more divided with technology, etc. I think people should aim to meet people in real life. But pragmatically, from my experience, nowadays we're busy. I mean, you guys are entrepreneurs too. You have your businesses, you have stuff. And sometimes it feels a little bit inefficient to just go out to approach women. You can do it situationally, but some guys, they plan their life around that. Like, I'm going to go to the mall for 3 hours and I'm just going to approach women. And it's kind of inefficient. So for efficiency, I think Instagram is great. But then for that real life, impactful conversation and, you know, for converting better, I think, yeah, definitely a real life approach is way better than online because you're face to face and there's way more punch. You can
discussing about how to meet a woman, but maybe we could take a step back and think about what's the goal exactly. Like, how do you see dating? And you're talking about this different strategy, but what's the end goal for you? What do you use the strategy for? Because they are just tools in the end. But what you want to get out of them?
Yeah, I think it's different for everyone. I mean, you might have a different goal than mine, clearly, and we all have different goals. And it's a lifestyle choice at the end of the day. You know, I think for myself personally, if we're talking about myself, because I can't talk for others, but for myself, the main strategy is to cultivate a lot of opportunities and options. Because I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to settle necessarily. I'm traveling, I have my business, I have stuff like that, and I'm busy. I don't want to have a single like relationship and stuff like that. And I'd rather have options first. And then maybe one day from these options, I'll find, you know, one that will differentiate herself from the others that I could potentially have something long-term with. So
you believe in monogamy overall, or what's your view about this?
I think monogamy could be great. But even if you're monogamous with one girl, I think it's good also to have a little bit of options just in case, you know, like not necessarily cheating, but showing her that you could cheat in some way. Like you could technically, because you're flirting. You know, you're not. You know, you're just seeing the menu. You know, you're just flirting a little bit without necessarily cheating on her. That's how I view it. Because even in a relationship, I think it's important for a man to still be what I call anti-fragile, like have this versatility as well, where you could still, you know, cultivate some options, but by choice you don't do it. You show her that you could, but you don't do it necessarily. If monogamy is what you want.
But what about the woman then?
The woman is different.
Oh my God. This is where it's starting. Okay, let's go.
Because for a woman, it's haram. It's haram to do. And I'm not going to go religious here, but since the dawn of time, I mean, female promiscuity has been prohibited in some way. And there's a reason for that, because biologically, women and men are different. I mean, women can't have, multiple kids with everybody. I mean, she could technically, but it's limited. She has limited eggs. The way she's wired biologically is different. And so for a man, it's much more natural to just spread your seed through different women. Through history, that's what men did. I mean, if you think about, you know, powerful kings in history or stuff like that, that's what they were doing. Actually, 4% of the Asian population comes from Genghis Khan, which was like the king there, because he impregnated so many women. And the opposite isn't true in history. Like, very few females have a ton of kids with different guys and stuff like that. It doesn't happen because it's different. So I think definitely a man could have multiple women, and a woman that has multiple men definitely isn't optimal at all for her. She loses value more than a man, for sure.